With a slew of new business opportunities to tap, entrepreneurship in India is on the rise. But in all the passion and fervor of running the venture and managing the risk, the entrepreneur may see their personal finances get into disarray. And as more and more individuals set up their own businesses, it's important for them to plan their personal and business finances efficiently. With an aim to guide these individuals on planning their finances in a better way, L&T Mutual Fund presents Investment Ki Paathshala, partnered by ET Now, where we invite 3 entrepreneurs into our studio and have them interact with our experts. Hello and welcome to a special show called L&T Mutual Fund presents Investment Ki Paathshala, partnered by ET Now. It's a series of episodes that we're doing with different people from all walks of life, talking to them about how they can manage their money better, how they can get their money to work for themselves. On this very special episode, we have a group of entrepreneurs with us because, let's face it, challenges for entrepreneurs, financial challenges for entrepreneurs are quite different from the salaried set. And to guide them on this episode, I have 2 very special experts with me. Allow me to introduce them to you. First up, we have Vihang Nayak. He's an equity fund manager with L&T Mutual Fund. Hi Vihang, thanks for coming.
Hi.
And we have Gajendra Kothari. He's the MD at Etika Wealth Management. Hi Gajendra, thanks for joining us today. All right, let's move over to the other side. We have 3 very special entrepreneurs here. So first up, Mohit, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your questions for our experts?
Hi, I'm Mohit. I'm the founder at Passwork Technologies. We're a mobile-based platform which creates a market space for co-working spaces. What we do is we aggregate all these co-working spaces on our platform and allow users or customers to book these spaces on a daily basis or an hourly basis. What we do is we allow them to use these co-working spaces not just in a single location but in multiple locations across India. One of the major questions that I have as an entrepreneur at a startup is that what kind of instruments are important to grow your money exponentially, because most of the savings are already put into the startup. So what happens is that it's a pool of savings which is still left, and how do you exponentially grow them by investing them into instruments or tax saving instruments which help you save money and then report it into the startup.
So Mohit, it all depends on what is the time horizon of this money, okay, and what is the purpose of this money. If this money is meant for your liquidity requirements 3 to 6 months down the line, or you want to keep it as a reserve, because since it's a startup, you never know from where the requirement might come in. You want to add more spaces and stuff like that.
Correct.
So then I would suggest, rather than lying in the current account, which you may have at this time where it is not earning anything, just park it in a liquid fund or maybe ultra short-term fund for 3 to 6 months, where you're earning close to 6% return, 6.5. It's almost equal to bank FD, but with complete flexibility. You can withdraw as much as you want and whenever you want. So that's the safest kind of thing. And if you want to bucket it also, you want to put some money in liquid fund and some for long term, then there are other options within debt funds where you can earn maybe 8% kind of return over a 2 to 3 year period. So you have to decide what is the time frame and what is your risk appetite. If you want complete safety with this money, then debt is the only option. But if you want to grow this money, some part of it, then you may consider looking at equity funds, which we'll discuss, in later part of the show.
Vihang, your thoughts on this?
First of all, when you're talking about liquidity, right? We will leave compounding for the later. The first thing your business needs is cash. You're not. If you need to pay your employees tomorrow, you're not going to get worried about what is the rate at which I have invested it, right? Okay. So, the right thing here would be liquid funds. At the same time, it is very important to separate your books from the company's books. So if you are looking to invest your own money, the suggestions should be very different than what your company needs, because your liquidity needs, your company compounding needs are way different from your company's liquidity and compounding needs.
I just want to add, because he said it's just a startup, 4 months old, I would agree with Vihang that you should at least have 3 years of your savings.
Correct.
Lying in very liquid kind of stuff for your family's requirement as well, because it may take a very long time to break even also, and you don't have cash flows coming in, like salary that you can do. So you may have EMIs for your house, you may have schools, your children's education fees. So that 2 to 3 years money expenses should be into a safe fund where you don't have to really bother about this for the next 2 to 3 years.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, let's move on. Pooja, so tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your question for our experts.
Hi Hi, I'm Pooja Rajpal. I'm the founder of 6262 Fitness. So basically 6262 Fitness is a very personalized studio where we are looking to cater to general population. We are more building up like a wellness center. We have everything to functional training, to nutrition, where we are looking at some serious results. And it's a very unique concept where we are trying to get in personalized attention, personalized training into a group scenario kind of a concept. Currently, we had a Prabhadevi branch. Now we've just launched a branch in Bandra. And what is happening, we are whatever money that we are making, we are reinvesting again and again in the business. So I just want to know, and of course the rents are very high because we are based out of Mumbai. The studios are very huge. So I want to understand, can we do some kind of an investment wherein a passive income can be generated, wherein at least these basic things can be taken care of?
Right. So the first thing is, in India, the entrepreneur does not separate his books from his business, right? All your savings go into one business. All your effort also goes into one business, and that business obviously has its own vagaries. So when you look at the entire process of wealth creation, diversification is a very important goal that we try to achieve. Now, look at it. I manage an equity fund and I have around 50 stocks in that equity fund, right? You putting all your money into your business is like me putting all my funds money into one company, right? Now, imagine what kind of volatility that will give to my investor. What I would try to advise is that, you've always obviously invested your effort in your business. You should invest your excess capital into 50 other businesses. And which is where an equity fund comes into the play, because here you get exposure to 50 best businesses in the country, right? And you also have minds deciding when to buy those businesses at an appropriate price. So I would say that in a nutshell, you should diversify your own personal books away from your business and put that money into an equity fund which gives you that diversification.
So while I can resonate with you, because I myself being an entrepreneur for last 10 years, first 5 years are very critical. You're building, this is like a baby to you, you are growing, with the baby. And if you feel that it's doing really well, the business is doing well, cash flows are coming in and you see a lot of growth, I may kind of agree with you that, first 5 years you should put back into the business, because that, that time liquidity is, cash is the most important requirement there. But beyond a level, you should not try to put everything there. And that's where I agree with Vihang that after 5-7 years, you should start building your personal finance book as well. Most businesses we have seen, they put everything back into the business forever, and you ask them, you have 10 lakhs, they say I have nothing in my personal book, everything is back in the business. And in business, the problem is always either you create a lot of inventories, okay, or you create a lot of debtors, and the money is never visible. So I would request, now that you have completed 5 years kind of thing, of course you may have a cash requirement, but at least 10-20% every month, start taking salaries if you have not been, okay, and start building your personal financial profile. I mean, you may have your retirement goals, you may have your vacation goals, children's education requirement, and that is where you put in a diversified equity fund, investing your money into other businesses. So your business is also doing well and your funds are also working for you. They would also help you on 10-12% kind of returns. As far as the money within the business is concerned, still I would say at least 2 years of your reserve money, you should have lying in a safe fund of your business, because you never know when some kind of challenges may come up and you require sudden cash flows. That time I don't want you to again break your personal savings and again get back into the business.
All right, let's move on. Jitesh, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and your question for our experts.
My name is Jitesh Gajra. I'm a founder and director of Walnut Excellence Education. As Walnut, you can understand, it's a brain. So our company is a brain development program. But now it's been 7 years that Walnut is running. We started with 3 students and today we are having more than 50 centers running and more than 2000 students studying with us. So we enhance students into education with the help of their mathematics or arithmetic rather. We have offline teaching program, we do have online teaching program, and most important, we have an Olympiad of mathematics. How do we differentiate our financial goals with work separately or business separately and individual separately?
So again, a very thumb rule, I would say 12 months of your business expenses, your rentals, your employee salary, all of this, and suppose if it is 5 lakh rupees a month, at least 60 lakhs keep back in the business and don't touch it. Anything beyond that, you can start withdrawing for your personal requirements. The best way is to take a salary, every month. So what happens if you take a salary, what are your expenses at home? Okay, you can also decide what kind of savings you want to do. Every month you may want to do a 1 lakh rupees savings also. Now that can go in the form of SIPs, into various funds. It can be short-term funds, it can be long-term funds based on goals. Define the goals, work backwards that for each goal how much money you require, and calculate the aggregate amount of SIP. So the amount may be 2 lakhs a month, right, for all the goals. You may not have 2 lakhs today, that's okay. Even if you're able to save 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees, start with that. And gradually as your business do well, your salary would go up.
Correct.
And so your savings would go up.
Right.
That is the best way to kind of plan about it. Right. So then you don't have to worry about your business. If you manage 12 months of your cash flows, and some businesses are not even, right?
Right.
You have cycles. So even if there's a bad cycle, 2-3 months are not happening, you don't have to worry. 12 months will take care of it.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Vihang, just taking this point ahead, what Gajendra said, that businesses are not cyclical. I mean, they are cyclical, which is similar to markets. Markets also have their volatility. So, is there some way that there can this gap can be bridged where personal businesses which are cyclical can benefit from markets that are also cyclical?
So that's a very interesting point, Sumit, and especially interesting for an entrepreneur, I would say, because unlike a salaried professional, an entrepreneur's cash flows are very cyclical. During great cycles, you might have 10x the amount of money that you might have on a bad cycle, right? Exactly for this such a behavior, we have products like dynamic funds. What do these dynamic funds do? Depending on the markets, right? Levels for the markets, valuations, and a lot of other variables that go through, we decide how much of the fund is allocated into equities and other products, right? So at the peak of the markets, no one can catch peaks, but as the market rises, as the valuations rises, the exposure to equity gets reduced. As the markets fall, as the valuations become cheaper, the exposure to equity rises. So this is a nice product, in my opinion, to manage your cash flows. See, there's one thing that I believe in: everything in life is cyclical, right? And for business more so, your business is going to be cyclical. I would say that make your investments counter-cyclical.
Let's come to some more questions from this side.
Yes, I would have.
Yes.
We have separately, like nowadays VC and funding is happening for the entrepreneurship.
Right.
Separately it's happening for the personal finance. Do we have something in the market which take care of the entrepreneurship as well as the personal together? For example, if I'm in right now business as well as my personal finance are required, is there any product or a portfolio which is helping me out to take care of my entrepreneurship as a financially as well as my personal things or financially? A product, something like that.
See, there's no product for there's no exclusive product for businesses and there's no exclusive product for.
Correct.
In mutual funds, you have different kind of funds, right? From 1 day liquidity to 30 year time frame, and right from 6% return to maybe 18% return.
Okay.
So we have to choose what is our requirement. Is it 6 months, 12 months, or 6 years, and what is our risk appetite?
Correct.
Am I comfortable with 8%? Or I want 12-14%.
Correct.
Depending on what you choose, you can have various funds within your business as well.
Right.
And you can have various funds within your personal portfolio as well.
One question which I always have is, as an entrepreneur, with the tax laws dynamically changing every time, what happens is me as an individual in my company, as a company, the tax laws are always changing. So what tools are there which can help me as an entrepreneur save my own taxes and also help my company do something about the corporate tax that is always on the round? So probably some tools, tax saving funds which help.
So this is obviously the tax season. I think one of the best products here from a mutual funds table is the tax advantage or tax saving funds. We try to differentiate between our objectives, right? We try to save tax. We also want to build wealth, right?
Yes, correct.
This is a product which gives you both. And our focus is towards saving taxes, but ultimately we also need the power of compounding to work for us. This is just like any other fund, only that it has a fixed lock-in, right? while achieving your liquidity, like Gajendra said, and your tax objectives, it is also important not to take your eye out of the long-term compounding.
Correct.
The market has done something like about 14-15% in the last 30 years, right, of its existence. What does 15% over 30-year mean? If you have a 10,000 rupee SIP, just 10,000 rupee SIP for 30 years, at that rate it becomes 5.2 crores.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you multiply that money, if you can put aside, let's say 1 lakh a month today, for the next 30 years, that could mean about 50 crore, right? I'm not sure how many businesses would be that valuable, so this is something which does your job while saving you tax. Right.
And I'll tell you, normally, we always blame government that, government has induced a lot of taxation for us, and nobody likes to pay tax, but government has given a lot of tax benefits also to us. Unfortunately, because we don't know, we don't take advantage of it.
Correct.
That is where your advisor and your CA can help you. CA can help you that in what ways your businesses can save taxes, right?
Correct.
Your personal financial advisor can help you in what way you can plan your salary or compensation that you save a lot of taxes. One beautiful way is NPS, National Pension Scheme, where 10% of your salary every month, because it's your company, you can decide what salary you will get. 10% of your salary uncapped can go into NPS, and there's no taxation to be paid on this. Now, this is something very few people are aware. So if your salary is 1 crore and just theoretically 10 lakhs per annum, you're not paying any taxes to the government of India.
Correct.
And there's another thing like Marriage Women's Property Act in insurance. So if you take a term insurance, you may have taken loans from various banks or VCs or other thing. And if you're no more there, this 1 crore which you've taken goes only to your wife or nominee. Nobody can touch this money. It is, kind of proof,
Agree.
So these are some of the things which we don't know as individuals, but some person, coach can help you plan so that, we are at complete ease.
Well, we're just about out of time, and just as we wind up, Vihang, just your last thoughts, and then Gajendra, just last kind of word of advice, any mantras, tips that you want to leave with our entrepreneurs.
I believe that entrepreneurs is a set of class which actually add the maximum value to an economy, right? You provide jobs, you use capital, right? And they are risk takers, right? And the other trait of entrepreneurs is they believe that they can because they can manage their business, they can also manage their personal finances very well. I know so many entrepreneurs who have their sets of friends who would buy stocks on their own, who would do a lot of this, and then the wealth creation doesn't really happen. So I believe use your talents and your faculties in your business, and leave the rest to experts like Gajendra and me.
Very well said. As entrepreneurs, I think the only dream is to make your baby grow much bigger and better. But all the time we are working hard for money. That's that. And we really forget that whatever we have earned in our business is that working for us. All you have to do is just sit with your advisor 2 Sundays of the year, 2 hours. I think that's good enough. You don't require anything further than that. And you'll be seeing a very complete peace of mind into the whole journey, I would say. That is where an advisor would require.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gajendra. Thank you so much, Vihang, for coming in. Thank you, Mohit. Thanks, Pooja. And thank you, Jitesh, for coming in. We hope this has been a very helpful session for you. And I hope that you have also enjoyed this episode and are taking back some tips. These are some of the ways that we all need to make our money work for us as well. You've been watching this special series, L&T Mutual Fund presents Investment Ki Paathshala, partnered by ET Now. Thank you so much for watching.
I believe that the one key takeaway I have for entrepreneurs is you take enough stress in your business in managing the cash flows, managing the cycles. Don't worry too much about about your wealth. Entrust your wealth with the experts, and let the power of compounding do its job.
Most entrepreneurs have this perennial question that I'm working hard for my money, but how can I make my money work hard for them? And throughout the year, we are so busy with our business and our startup that we don't get time to manage our own money. And that is where I think shows like this can give them some amazing ideas, simple ideas which they can execute, by themselves also, or if they can find a good advisor the life will be far peaceful, I would say.
Now I know that, okay, little bit, what I can do and how I can have a personalized coach for me who can think about my finances where I don't have to work, and how I can diversify the risk.
I think the takeaways that I had from the session was it's always important to do some kind of budgeting before you go into. Financial planning is important. You should keep your financial goals in mind and then plan accordingly. And it's always important to structure your insurance and tax savings into a way which helps you grow the money exponentially.
Good learning from that, and I'm sure that after going this, tomorrow only I'll take care of all my insurance part and start investing into something, so I can take care of my child education as well as the retirement part.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.